a sweet-ass run it's been. Epic forces of darkness and light. What a world.
We have the job that anyone else would kill to have. So when we go to work, we have a really good time.
I'd like to explore the Falcon as a character. What kind of man is this man? We'll find out.
We don't want it to be all action all the time.
I'll do my best.
We need to go home with these characters. We need to spend time really unearthing who they are. And since we got great actors, put them in situations where they really get to show what they can do.
We can create the same exciting, high-end action sequences, but then in between those set pieces, we get to dive deeper into the character beats. So it's the best of both worlds.
I'll be seeing you very soon.
Daniel Bruhl is returning as Baron Zemo from Civil War. Sharon Carter is returning, Miss Emily Van Camp.
It's going to be an epic adventure, I think, and I'm so excited to be here.
And a new character entering the MCU in this series is a character named John Walker, and he's played by the great Wyatt Russell. Ladies and gentlemen, the cast of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier coming to Disney+.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my breakdown of the Marvel Phase 4 trailer for Falcon and Winter Soldier that they just dropped. There's a whole bunch of Marvel Phase 4 stuff happening this week, so I will do footage for all the different trailers that they dropped over the next couple of days. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. We're also still doing that Avengers Infinity Saga giveaway too. All you have to do to enter that is be a subscriber and leave your favorite Marvel Phase 4 series that's coming up on the video. So they start with Iron Man's voiceover opening the trailer, lots of voiceover from the original Avengers introducing the Marvel Phase 4 trailers, the old guard classic characters teeing up the new stuff, pretty standard tactic. Then you get the transition to the full official Falcon and Winter Soldier logo. Notice how they rotate it, and it starts with Winter Soldier's classic Russian arm with the red star, but it extends into a shiny metal version of Falcon's wings because it's both Falcon and Winter Soldier together teaming up. The reason they team up will become clear in a second when they introduce all the antagonists. Baron Zemo is technically the main villain, but there are a lot of other people Falcon and Winter Soldier will be fighting against from the US government side of things, Thunderbolt Ross's people. Now that Cap has officially retired and passed the mantle and the shield on, Thunderbolt Ross feels like the shield belongs to the US government, so that's going to become a big problem for Falcon and Winter Soldier during the series. They rotate the logo and it's made to look like a version of the American flag, but they transpose Captain America's shield where the stars would be, because Cap has passed the shield and the mantle to Falcon at the end of Avengers Endgame.
Only thing bumming me out is the fact I have to live in a world without Captain America. Oh, well. That reminds me.
They actually explained after the movie came out that Bucky here, in this moment before Cap goes back in time to return the stones and Thor's hammer to where they took them from, he knew exactly what Cap was going to do, and that's why he gives him that strange look of knowing and says, "I'm gonna miss you, buddy." Like he knows that he's not coming right back. He's gonna go and live his life with Peggy Carter, and maybe he'll see him again, but it'll be a vastly changed version of him. And before this moment here, the writers said that he and Bucky had already had a really long talk about what was going to happen in their life together, like their sort of really long goodbye. That's why Cap only has the conversation with Falcon at the end of the movie instead of having a long conversation with Bucky. Plus, if you're mad they didn't get a moment together at the end of the movie, you have to imagine that after this moment here, it's implied that they helped Captain America settle down in their reality, somewhere quiet, in case they ever needed his help again. But for all intents and purposes, he's retired. And aside from flashbacks, Kevin Feige and Chris Evans haven't really said anything about old Cap coming back for cameos during the Falcon and Winter Soldier episodes, but maybe there will be a small old Cap surprise. Then they talk about the premise of the series, what happens to these two characters between the Avengers movies when the Avengers are off doing other things on their own too. They kind of gave you a preview of that during Avengers Infinity War. There was a prelude comic book that featured Captain America's Secret Avengers. They spent most of their time between Captain America Civil War and Avengers Infinity War dismantling the international aliens arm trade. Remember Spider-Man Homecoming? The Vulture and the Tinkerer were selling Chitauri weapons all over the New York tri-state area. Cap's Secret Avengers were taking care of that on a much, much bigger scale. They reintroduced Baron Zemo as the main villain, wearing his comic book purple mask, finally. His rumored plot during the series will be trying to release some crazy nerve gas biological agent around the world, and Falcon and Winter Soldier have to stop him, then capture him en route to getting him ready for a Thunderbolts series down the road with Thunderbolt Ross. There were a bunch of reports last week that Thunderbolts had gone into development officially, but no date on when they would release that series. Then we get a look at their brand new uniforms, Bucky looking like he's cleaned up big time and wearing a Captain America variant of his Avengers Infinity War costume, even more like the Captain America costume than he's ever been before. They added the star back to his vibranium arm, but it's a white star for America instead of the red Russian star. The Falcon suit is also interesting because it's not as much like the Captain America suit as I expected. So in the comics, Falcon eventually takes the mantle of Captain America, but this is what the suit that he wears looks like when he does that. The reddish-looking suit that he's wearing in this series looks a lot more like the suit that Falcon wears after he gives back the mantle and the shield to Captain America in the comics. At least in the comics, he stopped being Captain America a couple years ago and just went back to being Falcon. But Anthony Mackie actually did say during an interview that he would not be replacing Captain America during this series. This is the clip of him talking about that.
Because you are now Captain America, so is the title changing? How does that work?
No, I'm the Falcon.
Okay.
I will always be the Falcon. The moniker will stay the same.
So hearing him say that and then seeing that he's not wearing a Captain America looking costume, I think there's a reason for that, and it also involves what's going on with Thunderbolt Ross during the series. So I'll explain that in a second. But he is wearing the special straps that Captain America wore to holster his shield on his back, so he will be using the shield during the series. Sharon Carter is coming back as a main character. She has a much more hardcore suit, just meaning she's going to see way more action this time. She's still working for the World Security Council and Thunderbolt Ross. I'll explain her role in a second because she's kind of stuck in the middle between a couple different factions. The other new character is actually pretty interesting. John Walker is his name. He's also known as U.S. Agent in the comics. He's kind of one of the other antagonists. He's the new version of Captain America that's on the government and Thunderbolt Ross's payroll. The asshole version of Captain America that Thunderbolt Ross wants to be Captain America. We're starting to get into Dark Avengers territory here, so I'll explain what's going on with that too, because that sort of gets into the Thunderbolts series. John Walker in the comics wore the mantle of Captain America for a brief period. He was a super hardcore Punisher-esque version of Captain America before Steve Rogers took the mantle back. What they're basically saying is that Thunderbolt Ross in this series is not cool at all with Falcon having the shield, so you'll probably see a Battle for the Shield situation going on during the series. If you're a big Batman fan, remember Battle for the Cowl with a bunch of Batman's people fighting for the right to become the next Batman? Same idea, only with the mantle of Captain America. Who has the right to be the next Captain America? Is it the person that Captain America wants to become the next Captain America, or is it Thunderbolt Ross? Who technically owns the rights to the shield? Remember Iron Man at the end of Captain America Civil War? My father made that shield, it doesn't belong to you. So all those questions will be answered during the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. Sharon Carter is kind of caught in the middle between those different factions, between the Thunderbolt Ross people and between Falcon and Winter Soldier and Baron Zemo, because she's on Thunderbolt Ross's payroll, but she's also Team Cap. So Falcon and Winter Soldier are her friends, and she's trying to help them take down Baron Zemo, while also trying to keep Thunderbolt Ross from messing everything up. So if we're talking about future Dark Avengers plans or Thunderbolts series, evil or dark versions of the Avengers characters, John Walker would be their version of dark Captain America on that team. And if they have problems using Norman Osborn to lead a Dark Avengers team or a Thunderbolts team, early speculation they'll probably wind up using a version of Red Hulk Thunderbolt Ross, or just Thunderbolt Ross. There's supposed to be some kind of teaser for that during the Black Widow movie, so just be prepared for Thunderbolts setup post-credit scenes. But post all your theories in the comments below. I've got a new Black Adam video that I'm working on that I'll hopefully post later today. While you wait for everything, click here for my brand new Avengers What If trailer breakdown, and click here for my brand new Star Wars The Mandalorian Episode 1 video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.